What are some of the ways that you as a prop firm owner made it difficult for people attempting to pass? Can you spill the secret? Yeah. You're going to mess up. It's not going to be easy, but there's going to come a day when you win. So the results you get out of the market are only as good as what you present to it. Why did you decide to get into the whole kind of prop firm space in the beginning? What led you to that?
I was obviously very young. Yeah. I wanted to get money behind me, the freedom. I was following suit in terms of the social media side, so I just kind of jumped into it head first and made those mistakes that everybody else makes at the start. And
of course.
What about yourself?
It was kind of industry, so I came through this as part of my career, and I've been in banking for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I would say the cutting edge of electronic trading and FX trading. Mm-hmm. And I just fell in love with trading on the banking desk. And then it was amazing for me to see products that we were using and that were being used by hedge funds almost exclusively. Then slowly it started to come out into the public domain, like MT4, MT5. We could now use it on our phones, and everybody suddenly wanted to start to trade 8-10 years ago. And I was in a really fortunate position where I just knew so much about it that people, they just asked me to teach them, asked me to show them.
Scalping or swing trading?
Oh, swing trading. Scalping is just too hit and miss. It's a skill, but I don't know. Nah, swing trading, there's more of a strategy to it in my own personal mind.
Scalping for me, don't like to be kind of monitoring the charts for longer than probably an hour a hit. I like to be in and out and then get on with my day.
It's a fair point, It really is a fair point.
There's pros and cons to it, isn't there? It's 50-50.
So here's the thing. Let me just interject on this. I get it, but I think there are some stats to show that the percentage of successful scalpers is lower in comparison to the percentage of successful swing traders. I think there's some stats around there.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot that goes into it.
So are we trading funded accounts or personal capital? Which one do you prefer and why?
Funded accounts or personal capital. All right. The goal for me is personal capital.
Yeah, always.
It's got to be.
Always.
Because personal capital, you have got no rules, no restrictions, no regulations.
Yep.
So it's got to be the goal for personal capital, to trade with personal capital. But the problem being is that not everyone's got 50 grand, 100 grand to sit around with and play on the markets with. Mm-hmm. My answer to that question is prop firms taking your payouts into a personal account.
Yep.
That's what I would say.
You stole the words from my mouth, mate.
And what advice would you give to people who are trying their hardest to get funded and might have failed 3 or 4 or 5, even 6 or 7 challenges? What would you say to those people?
You're going to fail. You're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to mess up. It's not going to be easy, but there's going to come a day when you win.
Yeah.
And when you win, it is worth all the pain that you've been through. So keep going. And that's what I would say to people who have failed funded accounts before, is that just keep going. The thing with failing a funded account is that people go again and just go take another set of money, another 500, another grand, go buy another one. But they haven't paused to say, hold on, why did I mess up? What did I do wrong? Yeah. So my advice would be, if you're failing accounts, don't worry, keep going, but just review why you failed, gain a little bit more knowledge, do a bit more practice on a dummy account, and go again. And go again and go again.
Exactly that. I think I wish, when I was doing them in the early stages of my trading journey, that I did pause and, think, why did I not pass? Because I was always looking for something else to blame, whether it was the conditions of the market or whether I was just unlucky in that, attempt or that trade. They're designed to be really, really hard to pass, and they're like that for a reason. And unless you do everything right from start to finish, you're never going to kind of get to where you want to be.
So I've got a few more questions for you on the prop firm space, because I find this really, really interesting. What are some of the ways that you as a prop firm owner made it difficult for people attempting to pass their challenge? Can you spill the secrets?
You can give a few things away. So I won't say what we did. There's lots of firms within the industry that charge heavily on trades. So if they're trading with large lot sizes with the intention to pass quite quickly, get deducted $200, $300, $400 per trade they take, right. Which essentially means on paper it's not just a 13% profit target. It's now a 15%. There's loads of different things. It's all designed to be as difficult as possible. Yeah. But some people do come out of it and they're very successful with it.
And another question I get asked all the time from students is, how does the prop firm make their money, right?
Yeah.
So we know that, of course, they make their money from the fees that they charge for the challenges.
Yeah.
But do prop firms also group together good traders and kind of follow, I've got their own account that they can follow the good traders on?
Everybody kind of knows now in 2026 at this day and age that prop firms don't actually fund you the money, where people were thinking they were actually getting live capital. That's never been the case, especially early on in a trader's journey with a prop firm. You're not going to get funded. The bigger and better firms, if they see you're consistent and this is a 1 in 100 trader, then they will put you onto the live market, because at that point, if you've received, for example, 6 payouts in a row from a firm, you're a cost to their business. You're eating into their margins.
Correct.
And they then want to kind of book you as of such, put you onto the live market.
Yeah.
And then you're both on the same side rather than there being a conflict of interest. So, yeah, it's a really good point to make.
It's very clever. Right. You mentioned A book and B book just a minute ago.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know what that is, can you explain it?
So obviously A book is live market. They're actually funding you the capital. Usually the prop firm will just cover your kind of daily drawdown and max overall drawdown with their liquidity provider. Mm-hmm. So you're fully covered from the prop firm side, which is essentially what you pay for. And if you actually do generate the money, then the prop firm will actually receive the money and they'll pay you, that sort of thing.
Right.
Now the B book model is the model that most firms in the industry use. Some firms don't even go to the A book model at all. The B book model is essentially a completely demoed environment. It's just completely replicated across to the live environment, but there's actually no money to be played with. It's all essentially simulated.
They are the counterparty to your trade as opposed to the market being the counterparty to your trade, right? So they know, for example, most people lose, so we're safe to take the other side of this person's position.
Yeah, of course. Of course, they know that for every 100 people that go through, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 successful people in there, and they'll make money from the other 98 or 99.
Exactly.
It's an amazing model. It's just unfortunate that most people don't actually get to succeed in it.
My name's Bob. My name's not actually Bob, but if my name was Bob and I had 50 grand liquid cash to play with, would you recommend that I go and buy challenges with the prop firm, or would you recommend I try and trade that and grow that capital myself?
That's a good question.
It's a brilliant question.
It depends on a lot of things, though. Like how long have you been trading for, Bob?
I'm intermediate. I've made some money. I also lost a lot of money. I haven't been super consistent, but I've got 50 grand. I've just been paid out of my job.
Well, Bob. Go on.
I don't know if we'll have the same answer for this one. I would suggest, to kind of utilize both sides. But it depends if he's got somebody that's going to be kind of, pushing him in the right direction and learning where he's made the mistakes previously to get him to that consistent level. Because if he's not made money over the last 5 years, and if he struggled with being profitable consistently, then regardless of which option he chooses, he's still going to be at the same spot.
I was going to say a very similar thing. If you've got 50 grand, I think you should absolutely use some of that on prop firms.
Yeah, 100%.
How much do you need to go on? You can buy a $200,000 account with £1,000.
$1,000,
right? $1,000. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it doesn't make sense not to use some of that money and buy 2-3 accounts, whether that's 100k or whether that's 200k. I certainly wouldn't use it all on prop firms, but I would use some on prop firms, practice on a demo, get some mentorship or some guidance, and then be in a position to trade on the rest of your capital yourself. That's 100%. How I do it.
I think also when you trade on prop firms, you pick up some good habits. Along with bad habits, you pick up good habits.
Correct.
It kind of forces you to use the right risk involved in it, because you've only got a certain level before you actually lose access to the account. So it kind of stops traders just going hell for leather kind of thing on them. So you pick up some good habits and learn a few bits and bobs about trade and the realism of it as well along the way.
And that will transfer, what you're saying is that will transfer onto your personal account when you start doing that as well. Absolutely right.
If you start your trading with a prop firm and you understand you can only risk maybe 1-2% per trade. Yeah. If you do that for a few years, the habit will carry over to a live account. And you don't really want to risk more than 1 or 2% on a trade unless you're you.
I hope that answers your question, Bob.
Yeah, it does. It does.
If you want to see how I find setups like this, for trades like this, payouts like this, and happy students like this, then click on the link below.
So I wanted to ask you another question. I mean, between the pair of you, you've probably got a combined excess of 20 years experience in the trading industry. I just want to ask you guys the question, why did you choose trading as opposed to so many other options that are out there right now? There's social media marketing, there's drop shipping, I'm sure you all see these things that are flying around. what made you choose trading and stick to trading?
I was never like massively academically smart through school. I got by, got everything I needed to do. Always knew from a really, really young age. I didn't want to commit my time to work for somebody else and build somebody else's dream. I knew that from like the age of 16.
Yeah.
And I always told myself I wanted to be different. Trading at the time was very big, so I got into it, and 6.5 years on, I'm here.
Yes, you're still here. I'll tell you a couple of stories. There's two things that really impacted my trading journey. Personal development is essential for trading. And being on that personal development journey anyway, it just matched my personality. It forces you to be the best version of yourself because the market doesn't know you. So the results you get out of the market are only as good as what you present to it. So if you present to the market fear, greed, hesitation,